Lost in the dark. It's not a good day to be a bad guy.
What's up, man?
Welcome back, Grip Crew! So good to have you back with us tonight on this episode 226 of Lost in the Dark podcast. This one was especially fun. We're kind of like getting back to the basics a little bit on this one. Aaron and I went and saw the Death at Last tour last Sunday. I think it was like the 4th or something like that of February 2022. Down there at the Sanctuary in the basement of St. Andrews Hall down there in Detroit. Unbelievable. And so that's what we talk about on this episode. But before we get into it, as always, we got some shout-outs! And I'm going to start off with a couple podcasts coming to you from the glacial dumping grounds known as the Michigan Basin. Wayne and Michelle are a Michigan-based husband and wife educator and podcasting duo that examine UFOs and other paranormal topics within Michigan and beyond. Topics include UFOs, the paranormal, conspiracy theories, ghosts, alternative history, the Michigan Dogman, Bigfoot, cryptids, and all things strange and paranormal. Everybody be sure to check out the Michigan UFO Sightings and Paranormal Encounters podcast. If you are into all things strange and paranormal, this is the podcast for you for sure. And as a matter of fact, after this episode comes out, they will have a new episode up on the weekend of the 20th of February with MUFON investigator, experiencer, and author of You Have the Right to Talk Aliens book, Sev Tok. That's S-E-V first name, T-O-K last name. Sev Tok will be their guest on the weekend of February 20th. That is when that episode will be released. So very, very excited to hear that conversation. That's the thing about that podcast, is that like every time they have someone on that I haven't really heard of before, I end up following them on everything they do. It's always a fascinating conversation. This podcast, for me, at least, is the gift that keeps giving, because it's just so awesome. It's so like I don't know how to say it. Every time they have someone new on, I just really get into it, and I love hearing their conversation. So everybody be sure to check out all things Michigan UFO Sightings and Paranormal Encounters podcast. Next up on the podcast list, we got our brothers Lansing's own Bog Talk. Everybody be sure to check out the Bog Talk podcast, hosted by Alex and Mike, of course, vocalist and bassist of the band Bog Wraith. And the only reason why it's probably not Aaron too is because he's already on Lost in the Dark, and everybody knows Aaron's the drummer of Bog Wraith. We do a lot of crossover episodes with them, and they dive deep into all things pop culture. They really do a lot more of the pop culture stuff than we do. Especially like superhero movies, Marvel, DC. These two have a knowledge of these topics. Growing up, I always thought I knew a lot compared to like everybody that was around me. These two make me feel like I don't know shit. Like they really know like the deep cuts and stuff like that, and it's always a fascinating conversation. So everybody please be sure to check out all things Bog Talk podcast. Next up on the shout outs, what do we got here? First up, now instead of doing bands, we're doing tours now, because most of the bands we would shout out are on tours, so I'm just gonna shout out their tours. First up, we got the Welcome to the Chaos tour, featuring the likes of Punch Out, Ansi Crowler, I think, band called Fearless, band called Matriarchs, I want to say, Of course, our brothers down there in War from Raleigh, North Carolina. And then headlining that show is To Us Below. Everybody be sure to look up Welcome to the Chaos Tour featuring our brothers in War. That will be in Michigan on Sunday, April 24th at the Diesel Concert Lounge in Chesterfield, Michigan. And I cannot fucking wait to see War again. War is absolutely one of my favorite bands that we've ever met through doing this podcast, and I mean kind of all of them are, but War is so goddamn good live. They have such a great energy. Everybody be sure to check out the Welcome to Chaos tour, because it's going all over the place, not just Michigan, so be sure to check that one out. And then next up, and last but never least, the Michigan Metal Fest has officially, most of the lineup has officially been announced for 2022. I cannot express how much this festival means to me and how amazing it is. This one, God damn it, it's I can't even read all these right now, but the ones that I know: Coffin Talk, Casket Robbery, Let It Rot, Throne, Tyrant, Filth, Raven Black, Heartsick, The Convalescence, and then as of right now, the main headliner is Attila. However, it says additional headliner to be announced. Every year they do that, but this year at Metal Fest will be bigger than ever. They're gonna have more drink options, more food options, more vendor options, and just as like 30 plus bands. It's a fucking amazing festival, and I cannot recommend it enough. So anybody seeing this right now, if you are in Michigan or anywhere around and you want to go have an amazing day at a great festival, I cannot recommend Michigan Metal Fest enough. It's absolutely amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So many amazing bands. I can't wait to see Casket Robbery again. Like, so many Tyrant. I get to see Tyrant for the first time finally after we had him on the show. In Convalescence again. I've been listening to a lot of Convalescence lately, and I'm very excited to see them again. So, yeah, everybody be sure to check out all things Michigan Metal Fest. This one's gonna rule. But without further ado, everyone, that's gonna do it for the intro. Let's dive in. Here it is. Aaron and I's reaction to the Death at Last tour, headlined by Cattle Decapitation. We saw it back on Sunday in Detroit, and my God, what a way to kick off the year. But we'll get into that. Hope you all enjoy. Love you all. Thank you.
Oh.
Welcome back, everyone, to Lost in the Dark podcast. I didn't really count us down there. My bad. I meant you. I didn't know it would start like that. We are back. We are back, everyone. Welcome back to Lost in the Dark podcast. Aaron and I are in the crypt tonight. Oh, whoa, that was weird. This is we haven't done one of these in a while, honestly. Since November, at least. We haven't done one of these since November, where, you know, like, and this is kind of how the whole podcast started, is just like going to shows and then doing a podcast about it. It's kind of like how the fucking whole thing started. And we finally felt it like ages, but finally kicked off our concert year of 2022 with a banger, a fucking banger.
It was brutal.
We are recording this right now on, what is it, Wednesday? On Wednesday the 9th. Yeah. And then February 9th, 3 days ago, that would have been like the 6th or the 5th, we went down to the Sanctuary. No, we went down to the Shelter. Sorry, the Shelter in Detroit, which is in the basement of St. Andrews Hall in downtown Detroit. And we watched the likes of Extinction AD, Creeping Death, Last 10 Seconds of Life, and of course, the gods themselves, Cattle Decapitation, finally touring the Death Atlas album, which we have been raving about since it came out, on the Death at Last tour, is the name of the tour. Brilliant.
Yeah.
And my God, like, so to start off, it was like, you know how, like, have you ever had like a dream
that
where
you wanted so bad that you could do anything?
No. I mean,
Sorry, go on.
I mean, like a literal dream. Like at night you're sleeping and you have a dream, and like something happened. You and I are sitting in a room, and you look over at me, and you see me take a sip.
Yeah.
And then like 2 or 3 days, or even 3 months later, that actually happens the exact way it happened in your dream.
Yeah.
Have you ever had that? Okay.
I can't place exactly when or whatever.
For sure. Right. No. It's happened to me a bunch of times.
Yeah.
How do you internalize that? What look, when that happens, what do you have any thoughts, or you're just like, oh, that's like a coincidence or something?
I usually don't really give it too much thought when it happens, because unless it's something that I'm like, well, that's really, really weird. Like that's almost there's always been, I don't think it's ever been a thing where it's been exact to what I thought it was going to be. You know, it's always like a little bit different, but it was kind of still like, I guess it's more so when I'm anticipating something, when I'm thinking about it so much that like.
Okay. See, that's interesting, because it's actually happened to me like a lot of times throughout my life. I wouldn't say it happens on any kind of regular basis, but it happens often enough to where I think about it a lot sometimes. And it's like, what's going on there? What the fuck? And the opposite of kind of what you just said, it happens when you're thinking about something a lot. For me, it's just the most mundane, normal situation. Like there's nothing to it. There's nothing. It's not a big event. Nothing happens on those days where I see the deja vu. Like there's nothing. It's literally as simple as I look over and someone makes a motion, and that's it. Like it's literally usually like that simple, but it is precise. It is exact, like to the point, like exact. It's even been to the point where I have like 5-second memories of conversation, and somebody will say something, and then I'll realize I'm having deja vu. And then I'll remember what they say next, and I remember it before they even say it. And then I remember how I responded, and then I respond the way I responded in my dream. Like to that point.
I have had that.
Okay. So it has. And so the way I kind of internalize that, now I'm not really someone that like believes in like fate or destiny or things like that much. But at the same time, I'm having these real experiences of these apparent, like very minute glimpses into the future. And I look at it as like, if it, like every time it happens, I'm like, I don't know. I just get this weird, I can't explain it. I don't know why I think this way, but like, I just get these weird feelings of like, oh, I'm on the right track. This is where I'm supposed to be right now. Like I'm on the right track, whatever that means. I don't know. And I don't know really what that means, but that's kind of how I internalize it. And the night we went to Cattle I didn't have any deja vu or anything like that, but it was kind of like that in the sense that like, so it is tradition for me personally, and I guess, I mean, sort of now for us, and you don't fuck with tradition
You don't fuck with traditions.
To go when we go to Detroit for a show, we hit Mexican Town and we eat Mexican food. You honestly, before pre-pandemic, it used to be we'd always go after the show. Now it's before the show because a lot of the places are closed by the time the shows are over.
It's not just Mexican food though.
No, it's not. It's the greatest food on earth.
It is, yes.
Gods have blessed. And but like the way everything worked out that night, like our timing.
Oh yeah.
Our timing, like we walk in when the first band starts playing, and like so everything prior to that was timed up literally perfectly. And then even beyond that, Preston got there late. He walks in as Cattle starts playing. Perfect fucking timing. Everyone had perfect timing that night. That was the first thing that blew my mind. It was just like everything is working perfectly right now. Like it just, it was awesome. Like that rarely happens.
I was gonna say, it's seldom does it ever, but like I noticed that too. I was like, wow, we're like pretty much dead on when we need to be.
Everything.
Like I wasn't, and that was kind of the other thing is normally I'm concerned about like because it is a kind of a somewhat long drive and stuff, and like all the stops along the way, and like sometimes you feel like all right, like are we actually kind of on time, or are we gonna be like and it was one of those things where like I just wasn't worried about it. I was like we're if we get there when it starts, but like I thought initially we were trying to get there a little earlier because I think we thought that it started at 6 instead of 7.
Well,
like the actual band or whatever. So
no.
At least I did, but
see, going down, I knew the doors. At least what the flyer said, with doors were at 7. So I assumed nobody would be on stage until 8. And this even includes some hiccups, like the parking hiccup. Like we had to we thought we knew where we were going to go to. We would go to the same lot every time we park at this venue, and they wanted to charge us $30 fucking for parking, which was the price of the ticket. So we're like, fuck that. And so we like drove around for a minute and found another parking spot, which was like just as convenient. And and then we had to figure out that because this is at the shelter, we had to go around back. Normally we go in the front of St. Andrew's Hall. We didn't know that. And all that stuff. And so even with all that, it still lined up perfectly to where we're walking in when Extinction AD took the stage pretty much. Like we had enough time to walk in, peek at the merch, grab a drink, Extinction AD's on stage. It was literally perfect timing. And Extinction AD comes out and fucking demolishes.
Yeah, they were good.
Extinction AD, Creeping Death, and Last 10 Seconds of Life are the openers. And full disclosure, I don't know about you, but for me, I'm not familiar with any of them before that night, really. Like I think I'd heard a song or two, maybe over the years from Last 10 Seconds or Extinction AD, but I'd never heard Creeping Death.
Yeah.
But
kind of
go on.
Sorry, I was just kind of the same. I've been kind of in and out of Last 10 Seconds of Life within I don't know I'll say like I don't know, like I'm good few years ago, I guess. So like I've known about him, but I've never actually had the chance to see him.
No, I don't think I have either.
So that was really fucking cool. And they were like the whole hate church thing and the whole we'll get to it. But yeah, as far as the others,
what did you think of Extinction?
They were they were kind of one of the bands that I was kind of surprised as far as because they had, I mean, we kind of had everything on the lineup. They were a bit more of like the hardcore kind of thrashy style.
Yeah.
They were a real pretty energetic, pretty fun band to watch. A lot of bantering with the crowd, which is cool.
An absolutely amazing opener. Like you want, obviously, like there, we've all heard about those bands that will like take other bands on tour that they know like aren't as good, so that when they come out they sound better. And that's not a thing anymore, at least in metal. Like I feel like the mentality now, and that's how I felt that night, is that you want your opener to get the crowd moving. Like, as far as I'm concerned, you want the whole show to build, and you want the first band is that you want a strong foundation. You need a strong foundation to build upon. So you gotta unleash some beasts on that first one, and that's exactly what happened with Extinction AD. They came out, they were very energetic. They, you know, shit, I can't remember if it was them or not, but somebody was like, get rid of this horseshoe shit, everybody come in. Like, you know, because we've talked about that many times before for local shows in particular, but like the whole horseshoe circle around the stage, and then there's like a few, and then but they had a full-on, they had people moving, they had a full-on pit, and they had a lot of energy, and they really, I mean, I'm standing there watching them. I've never even heard this band before, and I'm getting excited already watching them live. Like, I'm getting, oh shit, like fuck. You know what I mean? Like the fucking Jim Brewer shit. Like, like, you know, I'm getting like that charged me up. It was a great first band for this show in particular. That's one thing. Whoever the fuck, I don't know if it was Cattle. I don't know if it was Cattle or their management or who the fuck it was, but whoever put together this lineup was a fucking genius.
Oh yeah.
Because these are all, there's a pretty wide range of musical styles happening here, but somehow it worked together so fucking well. And it started with Extinction, and they came out and just fucking slayed. They slayed. I was like, all right, we got a fucking show.
Yeah, there's something I love about seeing bands like that in Detroit. There's just the energy, especially live, like really good live hardcore bands like that, or like just, you know, the ones that just ignorant as shit, just like, you know, like a lot of just, you know, that's why I feel like seeing Hatebreed in Detroit just like hit me so hard.
Yeah,
because it's just that, like, you know, you want somebody to like fuck with you or whatever, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's I don't know, just so that was cool to see. They did remind me a bit of Hatebreed too,
a little bit.
Just one of those bands.
I think
it was cool
I think I leaned over to you. I think I leaned over to you at one point and said these guys would be great opening for Hatebreed.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
So yeah, it is very much, and there is something about seeing hardcore like that, especially like a more metal version, like hardcore with a little more metal in it. In Detroit, there's something about that just gets people riled the fuck up. Like, there's just something about it in that city that is special. That is very special and very exciting, and it's very few. In my experience, at least, there are very few other crowds that get like that are that into it, and it creates a very electric and exciting atmosphere. Yeah. And for them to open with that as the first band is genius. That's absolutely genius.
Oh, I still, one of my, to call back to the Hatebreed show. Actually, this show and that one have a very similar feeling lineup. I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, that was like one of the things that I remember the most was that was the first time we ever saw Terror. And I just remember like everybody before them was like climbing up on the Harpo stage to like try to get up, and they're like pushing people off of it. I'd never seen that. I was like, holy shit, they're like, it looked like just fucking zombies. People just
crawling
like,
up the wall in World War Z.
Yeah.
And for anybody that doesn't know, Harpo is of course one of the most legendary heavy metal venues in Michigan, known around the world. It's absolutely one of the greatest. Yeah. And the state, if you go there and go to the main floor, the stage is like, I am 5'11" and a half. The stage is above my head. If my back is to the stage, it's at least like probably like a half a foot to a foot above my head still. The stage is way off the ground for the general admission people. So for people to be climbing up that is fucking insane. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nuts.
It makes absolutely no sense, but but yeah, that's so to that point, yeah, definitely see a band like that and to see them open and shit, it was really cool. I want to get more into their music because they played some cool songs. They had some there's something about just those simple breakdown riffs that just get your head going. You just kind of stomp to or whatever. Yeah. I'm always looking for that style. Yeah.
Don't be near me. Yeah, no, absolutely. I love that shit. And they really fucking killed it.
Really, this lineup had no shortage of that because the next band, which I got, I was trying to get a physical copy of it, which I should have at the show, but I was thinking about it.
This totally creep, yes. And but just go back real quick. This is one of those shows where like every single band that I didn't know going into the show, I want to check out now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That doesn't happen every time.
Yeah.
Where you want to know, like, oh, I need to be more into these guys. And Creeping Death is, dude.
Yeah.
Like, weren't they from Texas or something like that? I thought they said they were from Texas or something, which is crazy. My God. So we go from like
Texas. Oh.
So we go from like a metal hardcore band to straight fuck your face death metal.
Yeah, old school like death thrash type shit.
Death thrash. Oh yeah, death thrash. Yeah, dude.
Like I said, I was trying to because they played a bunch of stuff off the Edge of Existence, which is the most recent one.
Okay.
And I was trying to get it.
Does it say when that came out?
That was the EP they put out October of last year.
2021?
Yeah.
Oh shit. All right.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, this they just watching them, especially their guitar players, like their guitar players and their vocalist was like, you could tell that they were just, having fun up there because it was like,
yeah, because the guitar player, because we were on, better than me. Isn't stage right when you say that? Isn't that looking out from the stage?
Yeah.
Okay, so we were stage left then.
Yeah, you
in the crowd.
I don't know how I don't know what if it's the term or not, but like crowd perspective, stage perspective, that kind of stuff. Like
that's what I'm referring to.
I guess you talking about one of the guitar players on both sides. So the side that we were standing on was like
I watched him, like I was watching him closely because I really liked his guitar, and there was one
right corner of the stage or something. I don't know.
Like if you walk in, we were on the right side, but we were stage left.
Yeah.
And look right there though. Like we could have put our hands on it. We were right in front. And that guy ripped out a solo at one point that blew my fucking mind. It wasn't very long, sadly. I wish it was longer, but like he ripped out a solo at one point that blew my mind. And then on the on stage right, crowd left, the opposite side of the stage from us, they had another, I think correct me, I'm pretty sure I'm right about this. The guitarist was the guitarist a black guy? Yeah. And he was, I was just making sure it was them. I was just making sure I was talking about the right band. He was going ape shit, dude. He was going, dude, I was so fucking enthralled with his stage performance. Like he kept throwing up kicks. He had super long hair. He was whipping it around. I was like, how are you playing these notes and making those moves? He blew, I got to know that guy's name because he fucking blew me away. Like absolutely incredible performance from actually playing to actual stage performance. Like He had
Yeah.
so much energy. Like I want to see them on a bigger stage just to watch him go nuts. Like he was fucking, I don't know his name, but my God, I was so impressed with his performance and like really like he really blew me away. Honestly,
Yeah.
I just kept watching him because I was just like I was like what's another, like I was like he should be in oh shit, what's that one band? Fuck. What's that one band that you like a lot? You introduced it to me. It's one word. It's super like nasty. Like fuck. It's kind of like oh yeah, that's another one. He should be in Filth, but like another one that kind of sounds like Filth. Fuck.
No.
We're really into him.
Apparently not that into him because
We are though. It's on the tip of my fucking tongue. I just keep thinking Heaven Shall Burn, and that's totally not it. It's I can picture the album cover. Like I know what the dude's face looks like, the lead singer. Like fuck. Oh, that's gonna drive me nuts.
Is it a one-word name?
Yes.
Is
Super gnarly. Spite.
I was gonna say
Spite.
that, but I was like, no,
It's Spite.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah, he should be in, but like that's the kind of energy he brought. Was like spite or filth kind of energy. Like that. I was like, this guy. That guy is one to watch. I think so fucking good. So good.
It's not often that you know, not only is the playing and the sound as tight as it is live, but just to have that kind of movement and stuff and to still sound like just, you know, that's I thought it was I wasn't sure who to watch on stage because like all of them, like their drummer was fucking sick.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things I loved. It was like because because we've seen shows at the upstairs that's St.
Andrews, tons.
Yeah, but I was actually pretty impressed as far as how they have it all set up.
I was
where you
too.
gotta like come in through the back and then like
completely separate entrance. And they still had the metal detector. They still check your shit, so you feel safe.
Yeah.
You know,
it feels like super underground, and so one of my favorite parts of it was like, for one, how close we were up to the stage and everything, and how you could see everything
right
but
there.
Also
there, like
also just how open it all was, and like when we were standing there, like I was able to actually watch everybody and like see how like what the drummer was playing, and be able to kind of hear how everything kind of sounds for bands that I've never heard of or seen before. So it was cool to kind of have that old school kind of gritty.
It was
show. It was cool.
That venue did have a and that for both of us. I mean, of course, we've been to St. Andrews tons of times, but that was the first time either of us saw a show in the basement in this shelter, which is I don't know if this is actually where they filmed it or not. Now that I think about it, but the final rap battle in 8 Mile was based on that venue.
Yeah.
Because Eminem used to go, like, there's literally a video of an interview with Eminem where he's like driving in a car, and the interviewer must have asked him like, where do you find yourself? Or no. Yeah, I think you actually hear it in the video. Like, where do you usually, like, if your fans want to come to Detroit and see you, like where what kind of, where do you go, what's your social hangout or whatever? And he goes, you can usually find me on Friday nights at St. Andrews Hall, kind of a thing. And like, so like it's literally like that's literally where, like, a place where Eminem like got his feet wet, in a lot of ways. And so it's a legendary venue, and neither of us had ever seen a show there in the basement in that part of it before. And it felt very underground and gritty and raw. And it had all of the, for Lansing locals, the Max feeling. or almost a machine shop feeling for Flint people.
Yeah.
But smaller, you know,
The way the
smaller than machine
stage,
shop.
yeah, the way the stage wasn't very high and there weren't any barricades.
No, but that's a good
everybody-
point. No
everybody-
barricades.
Yeah, everybody like understood what was going on.
Everybody
there-
behaved. Everybody,
Yeah.
there were nobody even got hurt. Everybody was good. There wasn't even a fight.
Yeah,
Like nothing. It was everything was just, everybody was just happy to fucking be there. And another thing that I want to mention about it is like, okay, so we walked in at like 7:27. I think we walked in around 7:15, 7:20. First band is on by 7:30. Going down, like usually when you go to a show, doors open 7:00. No band goes on the stage until 8:00. That's usually how it goes.
Yeah.
This case, band was on stage 7:30. Next band, like we talked about this a lot that night. I don't think either of us have ever seen a breakdown setup in between bands that streamlined in my life. Like the first band goes off, you have just enough time to take a piss and grab a drink. Next band is on.
yeah,
And that's it. That's
yeah.
like 10 minutes. And the next band is, it got to literally the point because so basically the show started at 7:30. It literally got to the point where I leaned over to you. I was like, if it keeps going at this rate, this show might be done by 9:30. Like it was so fast. And I was like, there's only 4 bands playing. Why are we moving so fast? This is crazy. So I did want to set that up real quick because there will be an answer to that later. But then, so yeah, creeping death creeping death, right? Yeah. Unbelievable thrash death. And it's one of those, it's definitely one that I want to pay more attention to here. I want to know what they sound like on the album. And I'm definitely going to look into that guitarist because he, like his stage presence and how wild, just fucking wild he was on such a small stage.
Yeah.
Like I would love to see them on a bigger stage and give him more room just to lose his fucking shit. Like he was so good. And so I am going to look more into them and follow that guitarist in particular. I really like that guy. And then I
have a I don't know. They're kind of the type of band that strike me as like if they have the space, they're
going to use it.
Run around, yeah.
They're going to use it. Like,
so
I want to see them at like Diesel.
Yeah.
Like the Diesel Concert Lounge or something like that. I think that would be fucking gnarly. Or the Music Factory.
Yeah.
I almost feel like the Machine Shop is still a little too small. Like Music Factory and Diesel have more than enough room for anybody that wants to get wild. So yeah, I think they'd. I'm definitely gonna be tracking all of them, but I'm definitely gonna be tracking Creeping Death quite a bit more, and I'm gonna look into their history and all of them. This goes for all of them, but look into their history, see how long they've been around, how many albums they got out, all that stuff. I want to know all of that about all the bands we just saw, which is very rare.
Like I said, I tossed them a bit for the newest one. So I want to mention it again because it's fucking really cool. It's called The Edge of Existence. It's an EP that came out.
EP, how many tracks?
What do we got? 6 songs.
So it's a great starting point.
Yeah.
Quick,
but
6 songs. Great starting point.
They do have 2 albums, it looks like, Wretched Illusions and Edge of Existence, and then they have a bunch of singles and demos out. So.
Well, when did the first album come out? Does it say that? If not, it's fine.
The full length, it looks like, was 2019, so they're fairly new, but they do have a 2015. They do have a 2015 demo.
Still.
So yeah, that's,
still
within the last
You come out with a demo in 2015, a full length in 2019, and you're already opening for Cattle Decapitation on a nationwide tour.
It's pretty good, man.
That's huge.
Yeah.
That is huge. Like, holy fuck. Wow. That's
Yeah.
I was expecting them at least 20. I was expecting you to say at least 2013 for the first full length. Like, holy shit. These guys are, we might be able to get them on the podcast.
Yeah.
That's sick. All right.
Totally
Hell
possible.
yeah. Fuck yeah. Creeping Death. They absolutely destroyed. And then
Fucking
not
sick.
even 10 or 15 minutes later,
Yeah.
we get annihilated.
Like,
Absolutely pure annihilation when Last 10 Seconds of Life comes out. This is,
dude, they're set. I wasn't even in the mosh pit, but I felt like I got punched in the face by this band. Like, this shit, they like, I feel like it's, well, for the most part, it's the vocalist, but their drummer is a machine, dude. Like, I was watching him the whole set. Like, dude was just like, the fuck ghost notes, like just how much groove he puts into everything. But yeah, dude, they grab you, man. Like, they just, right
Right.
from the jump, just welcome to Hate Church, motherfucker.
literally that almost had like a hate breedy feel to it in a lot of ways. Side note, real quick. Did you say ghost note?
Yeah.
What the fuck is a ghost note?
It's like a half note, like how do I explain it? Like, so like when you're playing drums, right? Like you have your steady beat, so you have so you got like a 4/4 beat, so you got like that, like something like that. So it's like an actual
kickstand hard. Yeah,
dude, yeah. So it's like straightforward. But so a ghost note is like an accent. So it's like a note between the note. So it's like a you know what I mean? So it's you almost kind of like, you almost kind of like use the revert or the rebound from the drumstick, and you kind of like, I wish I had something here.
So like, I didn't know that's what that was called.
Yeah. So whenever you hear those notes or like those hits that aren't the full, like, like somebody just using, I guess that's a good way to put it, like the notes between the notes, like it's the hit between the actual where the beat lies, you know what I mean? Like where the count is. So
I didn't even know that had a name.
Yeah,
that's dope,
because it's
I like that they call it a ghost note. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's like, because it's not an actual, like, it sounds like it's not there. It sounds like it adds a little more, like, flair to things. It adds a little more body to it. Yeah.
Yes, a little more body, exactly.
Yeah. So,
but
dude,
but yeah, so yeah, and then they had very much, now I said hate breedy vibe in a way, but I would even like, the whole time I watched the Last 10 Seconds of Life, I was like, kill the imposter.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know what I mean? I was like, these guys need to tour with Kill the Imposter, because would be like, no one would survive.
Yeah.
No one would survive that shit.
Yeah.
It'd be amazing.
Anytime there's a band that has a front man who's like either has very little hair or is bald and has like a full head of either a full head of tattoos or like something going on, the band's gonna be sick. Like that's
they're gonna be sick, but I didn't want like
because and yes, I know there's a certain kind of context and connotation that comes with that. Am I wrong? How many times has that happened? Right. Been like, dude, that like, but even
every time.
Like,
every time.
There's something about it's like, oh,
this is gonna be
bald dude with a gnarly head tattoo. He's gonna yell some shit at me. Like,
we're coming out of Mosh retirement for this one. Yeah. Like that like it was, and I didn't want to say that just because it was two bald lead singers. That's not what I meant. It was the energy of the performance of that they both had. And I do feel like
Johnny Plague.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe it was the limitations of the stage, because it's a small, it was fairly limited. Let's be real. Maybe it was the limitations of the stage, but I definitely felt like Johnny has a stronger stage presence. But the lead singer, last 10 seconds of life, definitely tears it up. Like he really, and I really like their style. I think I never really like looked, like I'd heard of them plenty of times. I feel like I never really looked into them much, just because I don't like those like long names like that, like where it's like a phrase.
Sure.
Like I don't last
You
10
butter the
seconds.
bread
Like,
with butter.
yeah. Hunt the dinosaur. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like stuff like that. I'm like, what? Like what? You know, I prefer things like like it could be a obviously it could be a multi-word name. Children of Bodom, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like, I just don't like that. Like, there's a lot of bands where it took me a while to get into them because their name is like a phrase and it doesn't come off as like a band name to me. So it's like weird. And this is an example of that. But after having seen them live, I'm like, there's no one these guys couldn't tour with. They kind of they could tour with anyone from Cattle to Kill the Imposter to Convalescence to Lamb of God to Hatebreed. They could pretty much tour with anyone, and they had tremendous energy. I thought it's all three. This goes for all three of them, all three of the openers, but definitely just relentless fucking, this constant headbanging, like kind of like rhythmically. It just I thought they absolutely fucking destroyed.
Yeah.
I was really, and again, I maybe have heard like a song or two by them somewhere in the past. I don't know. I don't remember. But seeing them that night made me go, I need to look deeper. I need to look into these guys, because they are like, I mean, and again, this goes for all of them, as we've been saying, but like everyone just, it really felt like everyone brought every ounce of the thunder. You know what I mean? Like it was like, I don't know. It was like all of them got together before the show started, and they looked at each other and like, we're playing fucking Detroit tonight, guys. And like, they came out and played like they were playing in fucking Detroit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was gnarly. It was so gnarly. Like they tore that shit up. They had multiple circle pits going throughout their set. Like every time it stopped, they're like, keep it fucking going. And people would fucking,
yeah. I would say probably like close to 200 people there, but even still, like there was enough room in there to like I said, like even no matter where you were standing at, I didn't feel like I was cramped. Like I didn't feel like I was like
never felt
doing this shit
cramped at all.
And
I can't believe it didn't sell out.
Honestly, yeah.
Like to this, like I cannot fucking believe that show didn't sell out, because my God, like what the fuck else are you doing on a Sunday night, metalheads, in Michigan metalheads? The fuck else? Who are gonna get up for work tomorrow? Guess what? You're gonna have to get up for work the next day too. This only happens once. This happens one time in your life.
Yeah.
Go to the show. Like, fuck it. Like,
dude, I am just glad that last 10 seconds of life played the song The Box. Because that song, that's like one of the songs that got me into them. Next to Warpath. They also played
see, I don't know any of their songs by name.
See if I can.
So this is gonna be a record for me. I'm gonna have to look into these songs.
Oh, they took it off. That's weird. But yeah. So yeah, hearing those two songs for the first time in a while, or ever live, really,
Oh,
I was like, yeah, like I don't know, it was sick. I was
dude.
really excited about it,
Yeah,
and just
man.
his
Yeah.
whole like, I don't know, like yeah, I'm always super impressed by. I want to say they're a 4-piece. I'm always really impressed by like the bands
Oh,
that can. Let me see. Let me make
I
sure on that.
think so. I think so. Can't remember.
But yeah,
I,
what I was gonna say was I'm always super impressed by the bands that can sort of yeah, they're 4-piece. So that means they got one guitar player and a bassist and drummer and vocalist. So I'm always like just to have that big of a sound and have one guitar player and just have it be as streamlined as possible was I
it
was like
sounds
this
so
is
fucking heavy, like
yeah.
so gigantic. Like, oh, so good. They were, yeah, they
Yeah,
absolutely destroyed.
there was a real there's a real vibe in that room that night. That was
I
cool.
and
Like
I hope to see all three of these openers on other future tours because they just, I mean, Jesus Christ, like
yeah.
they all deserve it. Like they all were really brought they brought it. They brought every ounce of it that night
Yeah.
on a Sunday.
And we didn't even talk about the big one yet.
That's where I was about to go. Of course, so at this point in the night, we're like it was I was looking at the clock and I think they went off somewhere between like 9:20 and 9:30 or something like that. And I was like, all right, Cattle will come on and we'll be out of here by 10:30. Like that, I mean, you know what I mean? And then I think Cattle came on at like 9:45. I want to say because I remember clocking it because I was just so blown away by how fast it was going.
Yeah. Well, like after kind of looking at the stage and stuff, I like it looked like they had it all set up to where everybody was using the same like it was like backlined. So everybody's
Yes.
using the same drum kit. They just took their cymbals and their snare and stuff. And
Wait,
then I'm gonna
yeah.
guess that like the guitar players used their heads and everything and just had the same cabs.
Yeah.
Which
Was
was
probably a big part of it. Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Sure.
I think most touring packages, especially now, do that. At least I've noticed. But yeah, it was
I mean,
I
but
was
then why do all the others take so much longer? Like, you know,
I don't know, but yeah, man, they were on their shit that
they
night.
were
Like it
on
was
their
I
shit.
was kind of like you said, like we had just a, like anytime anybody stopped and got, was finished up, it was like, all right, well, let's get a drink or whatever. By the time we were through the line, which was another thing because, we had some, like all the paid stuff at the bar or whatever, but that's, I don't know,
Yeah.
that's another
That's
thing.
whatever. Yeah.
But yeah, like even with all of that, like we were through it by the time the next band, and like that's in a matter of about like you said, like
And
10 minutes.
and
Like
it was not a long, there were maybe like 5-6 people in front of us. It was not a long line by
yeah,
any means
yeah,
at all. So like,
yeah,
it was that fast. And so I think Cattle comes on at around 9:45 and I'm like, oh, we'll be out of here by 10:30,
Mm.
Cattle proceeds to play until like 11. They they played for over an hour.
Well, there's also the technical stuff that happened
There
at the start
was
of
a
it,
technical
but
difficulty. Which was explain that.
well, I'm not for certain what I mean. It to me because like as I was listening to it and like there are certain things that I kind of pick up on when listening to
So real quick, most
live
bands,
music, I guess, live metal.
Generally speaking, when a headliner comes out, they come out, they hit you in the face with 2 big songs, and then the lead singer starts the banter, right? The lead singer starts to kind of talk to the crowd a little bit. It was at that point where we noticed there was some technical difficulty happening.
Yeah.
They had already played 2 songs. So
Mhm.
go on.
well, because what I was noticing was that I mean with cattle stuff, like it's very double bass heavy, like it's very blasty. I mean it's death metal, like that, and it's very technical stuff. It's very fast and stuff, and like when you're triggering or when you're bass drum, like and I noticed he was using two of them. So I'm sure somewhere between that and like
two bass drums.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm sure somewhere between that and maybe there was like, some like frequency stuff between like but for whatever reason, I was noticing that like a lot of the bass drum stuff wasn't cutting through because you couldn't hear like his actual, like the his bass hit, like his kick hits and stuff. It was mostly just like, cymbals and snare and everything and all the other stuff. So I think there was some kind of, I don't know, something with that. They didn't say specifically, but it was, he was back there and stuff, and they kind of took off the stage or whatever. And eventually they did get it fixed and kind of went on with the show, and everything else kind of went on. It was
only like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah. But man, yeah, like that was like, because I had seen them once at Max a long time ago, and that was like this place was about this. I feel like it was a little bit bigger than the Max.
Oh yeah, definitely.
As far as like the floor and everything goes,
but a little.
Yeah. And I mean, they played. I mean, pretty much every song and the interludes off of Death Atlas, and then a couple others.
Yeah, keep in mind, we've been raving about Death Atlas for years now. And this is the first time we've gotten to see any of these songs live.
Yeah.
It's the first time they've toured any of them. And they open with the anthropogenic end transmission, which is the intro to the intro to the album. Yeah. And then they come out with the Genocide and Vulturous. Those are the two that hit us. That Vulture. Don't even like.
Yeah.
Don't be near me. Like, fucking. And then they had the slight technical difficulties. And then they come back with Your Disposal and Bring Back the Motherfucking Plague.
Yeah. He's like, I wish I wouldn't have wrote this song, but here we go.
No. He said, I'm so glad I wrote the lyrics to this song when I did.
Yeah. That's what it was. Yeah.
Because how could he have? He wrote this song lines up so perfectly with everything we've gone through in the last 2 years. He wrote this the November before COVID start, or no, it was probably written long, like the year before, but that's when the album came out. Yeah. It was the November before COVID, the November before that March. I have, so is it okay? I honestly don't know. I'm genuinely asking you, is Cattle Decapitation, are they considered death metal? Is that their category?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
Like, it's more so now, like from like, let's say like Monolith of Inhumanity up to Death Atlas now, and Death Atlas is that's its own thing. Like at this point, they're just cattle. Like to me, they're but I would say primarily, I would say they're death metal. I'd say their earlier stuff is more like death grind, like death or like death metal and grind. Like it was a way more like abrasive and.
Well, when it comes, and I'm even including a Cannibal Corpse in this, when it comes to any death metal or grind metal or combination of the two bands that I've ever seen live, and I'm again including Cannibal, I have never seen what I saw that night at a death metal show, which was when they played Bring Back the Plague. And the hook comes in, which is already kind of rare for a death metal song.
Yeah, most of the time there aren't hooks.
Right. It's fire up the chainsaw.
Yeah.
It's
no sing-alongs.
The whole fucking crowd, dude. Every arm went into the air. Bring back the the plague.
That was
like,
that was cool. That was really cool.
Oh, with how much we've been listening to that for the last few years, and just like every time you've ever been driving in your car or whatever and gotten goosebumps from it, or you and I've been jamming it, or like back when the crypt was still in the basement and we were going nuts with it, like to finally be in a room full of like hundreds of people, just bring back the plague. Like that was insane. I've never seen that at like a death metal show. Like that was fucking unreal. Like everyone just launched. Like it was it was so good, dude. That shit was so good.
Do you have the set list pulled up still?
Yes, I do.
Keep going on with what it was, because there's a couple of them I want to talk about.
Oh no, definitely. Because again, they played for over an hour, which is basically like unheard, like very rare. Like in the underground, if you're gonna be in a venue like that with a metal band like that, it's they'll give you an amazing 45 minutes. Very rare do they go over an hour. Very rare. It's very rare.
It's them, and I think Dahlia was the last one that I ever saw in a headliner that played for like an hour and a half.
But that was that a tour where they played an album top to bottom and then had an encore? Because that I could easily see.
I feel like I've seen both, and usually I feel like either way, if they're headlining either way, I feel like it's usually like an hour and a half. I feel like they like, I mean, for as many albums as they have and for as long as they've been,
oh my god, they have such a huge catalog.
Like they could easily fill, and Cattle does as well, right? Respectfully, like they're
Cannibal,
so
all of them really, but typically I don't know, maybe not with Dahlia, but like with Cannibal, Bodum, even stuff like that. Yeah, it's like 45 minutes. It's very rarely over an hour, and when that happens, I'm very appreciative, and I consider it a very special experience because it doesn't happen that much. And I don't know, like it's that, like you're once you cross the hour mark, I'm like, this is Trans-Siberian Orchestra territory. Like, this is, like, it's kind of like moves it up in my head a little bit.
Even when I saw them at Max, I feel like they played a really long set, because I was like, dude, they're playing a lot of songs, and they were like moving right through them. So I wonder if I can find that set list. And
you got to consider that they had technical difficulties for about 5-10 minutes, and one of the songs they played is like damn near 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
And they still had a 12-track set list. 12 tracks, bro. That's a full album. That's insane. So after the glorious Bring Back the Plague, they did The Great Dying Part 1, which is like the interlude on the album, which led into One Day Closer to the End of the World, one of my favorite tracks from Death Atlas by far. So I think it's far, unless I can't, hold on. I can check it real quick, actually. Let's see here. Wait, what was it? The Disposal. Okay. So the Disposal was from a previous album. So in these first 5 tracks, all but one were from Death Atlas.
Mm-hmm.
And
they played like 2 or 3 off of Anthropocene Extinction.
Yeah, and One Day Closer to the End is that's the track that precedes that's the track that precedes Bring Back the Plague on the actual album. They play that, which is absolutely one of my favorite riffs on the album. I was so happy. Yeah. And then the next 2 tracks, they do get into some older stuff. We go to The next track they played was of course it's Cattle Decapitation's Hammer Smash Face. Really, it's forced gender reassignment.
Oh, I forgot about that
It's
one.
really like they're like
Yeah,
not in terms of sound or anything, but in terms of like how fucked up the name is, how much everybody likes it, where it is in their catalog, like all that stuff like lines up with like a Hammer Smash Face. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
I hadn't heard that song in a minute since
Same.
until they played it, and I was like, dude,
yeah.
this is like
Yeah.
I need to check out Monolith again. It's been a minute since I listened to that, but that one has some hits on it, man. Some real
Killers.
good.
Mad notes. Yeah. So we go to Force Generation, and then the next one is another one from a previous album called Plagueborn.
Yeah, that's all Fantasy.
Yep. Is Force Gender off Monolith?
Yeah.
So really,
Yeah,
this whole
off
show,
that.
this whole show was Atlas, Monolith, and Anthropocene, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Which is
Are those
I have
are those their? I know those are their most popular. Are those the most recent, or was there
Yeah.
anything? They are okay.
well, I'd say 'cause the one I was introduced to him on was it's called the Harvest Floor.
Mhm.
Um
I have that one.
and there was I mean, outside of like, it's like it's I feel like towards the end of it, there's a couple of songs on it that really, like, you could tell that like they were trying to do a shift on that one a bit, because there are a few more hooks. There's like it's a little more, some of the parts are a little less like wild, and like they actually have some structure to it and stuff. And there's a couple that have, like his like vocal style thing where he's doing like the choruses and stuff kind of really started on that record.
Apparently, those are referred to as goblin vocals, but
Sure. Yeah, sure.
I don't necessarily agree with that because of a certain individual who hosts a show called Right Now with John Gabaldon.
Is he signed off on that?
He has not signed off on it. He needs to have lead singer Cattle Decapitation on Right Now. There was a new
Good
episode
impression.
of that. There was a new episode of that earlier, and I was dying, dude. It's so I fucking love Necrogoblicon.
Yeah.
John Goblicon. Right now. Jerry!
Yeah.
Jerry, get over here, Jerry. It makes me laugh so hard. I love John Goblicon. Sorry. Anyway, goblin vocals.
just so everybody knows what you're talking about. That was a good impression.
I've been working on it a little bit.
Are you actually, am I sitting here with
John
Goblicon? You've been holding out on me. You got
am I?
Goblicon money.
Am I?
You yeah.
Am I secretly in the band? I mean, I'm the one in the makeup.
Yeah.
That would be fucking
Just
awesome.
like hunch over and just
Yeah.
like
Right now.
Anyway, yeah. So after that, yeah, and now that I'm looking at the set list of it, they really did kind of
Well, then
structure
it
out.
Yeah, I mean, after Plagueborn, we get into the Great Dying Part 2, which is another like interlude, and then we get to another track off Death Atlas called "Finish Them," which is "Don't Be Near Me." Like that shit is the mad notes. Like,
As a matter of fact,
I love that song so much.
yeah, dude, that one, Absolute Destitute, One Day Closer to the End of the World,
Which they played.
Yeah, like
I wish they had played Absolute Destitute though. Honestly, the number one I wish they played off the album that they didn't was "Be Still Our Bleeding Hearts." Because I was into that one before I was into Bring Back the Plague. Like that one That one, oh fuck, oh I love. Be still a bleeding heart.
Yeah.
Oh god, I fucking life.
Yeah.
Embrace that eraser. Oh my god, dude, I fucking love that so much. What'd you just pull up here? What is this?
Yeah, this is a video I took. I don't know how good the quality is gonna be, but whatever. I still wanted to show it. This is the last bit of finish them.
No way.
Yeah, I got this and I got something else. I don't remember what it is. But I wanted to show this, and I got a couple pictures too. I think it'd be cool.
And this will give everybody a good visual of like where we were at, what the place looks like.
Yeah, I hope this works and looks and sounds okay. But if it doesn't, oh well. All right, here we go.
God,
Yeah, man.
damn
I was like,
it.
oh, I gotta get the end of this. That's one of my favorite parts.
Oh
It's that part, and it's the part in Vulturous at the very end of it.
yeah.
Where it hits that like that bass part that just like goes on forever and it gets faster and faster, but the riff gets slower and he's just like, oh. Hearing that, I wish I would have gotten that on video because hearing that live was so sick.
And I know we've said it so many times on this show, but Death Atlas has to be like damn near the best death metal album in the last decade. Like it is relentlessly good from top to bottom. It's just so fucking perfect. It's just so, oh my god, everything about it is just so good. And to finally see these songs live is insane.
Yeah, man.
And for considering how goddamn on point they sounded. Like the sound in the room, everything was so good. Here, yeah, these are some pictures you took. Look at that drum set, dude. That is gold.
I was like, yeah, we were standing around after the show, and I was like, I gotta take a picture of these.
That's
their
unreal.
stage setup.
That's unreal. That's a side banner.
Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of these are kind of the same, but yeah, this one,
my god,
full stage setup.
So sick.
Oh.
So everybody can see that's the amount of stage that they had. And all the previous bands had less stage than them because there was another drum kit instead of set up in front of that drum kit, you know, as it goes at metal shows or whatever.
Yeah. Let me show this one too real quick because I don't know what I think this is. I think this is part of Death Atlas, the last song they played. I'm not sure. But yeah,
the last one it's not. But the next one they played after Finish Them was Clandestine Ways.
Sorry, I fucking love that song.
That was a banger.
The Anthropocene and Extinction, that album, the one that was before Death Atlas,
yeah,
the one with the dude on the beach,
yep,
the blue cover, really is kind of responsive because I was like I said, like I heard them first on Harvest Floor. They kind of got my attention on Monolith. I really liked the cover of that, and a lot of this, like,
me too.
That was when they first started doing they first started doing like the kind of like bigger chorus, like sing along kind of parts, which was really weird, but it was like the way that they do it is so it's unique. Like I wouldn't in any other context of any band, like if any other band that like called themselves death metal did that, I'd be like, what? But now is like, hey, like
it just
I mean,
I don't even know, like that's why people started calling it goblin vocals, because you can't really call it clean because it's not really like a clean vocal track.
Yeah,
there's
I
still
don't.
something. There's something. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something on it
Mm,
that separates it from clean, but it's like, okay, so it's not growling or screaming, and it's not
yeah.
clean. It's just somewhere in the middle there,
Mm.
and
The thing that
it's so. And part of the reason why so much of this shit is so we like it so much is because it has a chorus or a hook or rhythmically or whatever, and that is involved in that kind of vocal. Like nobody else in death metal has ever been able to pull anything like this off.
yeah.
And it's kind of its own thing, and
Mm.
it's
Well, I mean, even
insane to see live.
you're still like even now we're starting to what's the Dickie Allen is another guy that does it a lot.
Who?
He's from Infinite Annihilator, the vocalist for Infinite Annihilator.
I'm not terribly familiar with their music, so
I've at
I've
least
I've
like
played
shown to you before,
I've heard some stuff, but
yeah,
yeah.
super crazy. Like, but he even does some of that, like that sort of stuff. I mean, gosh, I'm trying to think of some others, but yeah, like he's really kind of like that. He's not only is he one of the ones that has kind of like paved the way for extreme metal vocalists, but I feel like he's kind of like especially after hearing Death Atlas, dude, like just what is considered and and I feel like Clint might have said this when we talked about it for the Filthy 15 episode we did. Said something to the effect of like this Death Atlas kind of changed what I thought was possible for death metal. Like
Exactly.
they really did some stuff that normally, would be kind of like you kind of raise an eyebrow to, but how much of just how well done and how like well executed it was and it is. It's which is why I mean the last three songs that they played of the actual set, just I like when I so in the last three that they played were the last three songs on Death Atlas. It's
No,
Time's Cruel Curtain, Unerasable Past, and Death Atlas, which was the
well, that
title track.
doesn't. Okay, yeah. Those are the last three songs they played before the encore.
Yeah, right. I keep forgetting about that. Man, yeah. But yeah, like when I say that, like the first time I heard this album all the way through, because I own two copies of it, and is it sitting right there? Yeah, I'm gonna grab that bitch. Because it's fucking cool. I love it. I love anytime I get to show like vinyl stuff I have. I'm fucking psyched about it. But but this one, oh wait, no, yeah, I'm gonna have to go grab it. I'm all right, yeah. For the sake of this episode, I'm gonna grab it real quick. But my point being, when I heard the album the first time, these three songs hit me so hard to where I was like, because like for anybody that hasn't heard the album top to bottom, like it leaves you feeling kind of empty, kind of like depressed a little bit. Like it has this emotion of like, kind of somber, I suppose, like towards the
Yeah,
end,
that's
like
a good way to put it.
what he's saying at the end of it.
Yes.
Is both the lyrics to it. But regardless, like just hearing those three songs, like the first time I heard the record and then going back to it for like when I got the CD, when I was reading through the lyrics, and then when I got the vinyl stuff and then hearing it live the other night, every single time I heard those three songs together, dude, it is just like I was like I kind of like teared up a bit, man, towards like especially just the last, like just how Death Atlas ends, like how and not only that, but the last with Time's Cruel Curtain, how it does that like kind of groove towards the end of it. Let me pull up some of the lyrics for it because that will give a better indication what I'm talking about. But yeah, that one. when he says, uh, it's the part towards the end where the curtain has closed as only time knows, because that's how it goes. Bed of fire, decompose.
Yes.
We know that we're wrong. We know what we've done, yet we still carry on. The
Yeah.
curtain has burned. No lessons are learned. Our ashes in the urn. This meeting is adjourned. All the nothing. All into the nothing. What are you now that I once was? What am I now? Or what I am now, you will soon be.
Yeah.
Like, just, but it's the way that, like, it's with that, like, kind of like slower groove at the end of it, and just how he's singing it, and just how it goes from that, uh there's this meeting is adjourned, and then into the nothing. Like, how he does that line is like, it's like it starts off as like a clean vocal, and then it like gets like a little more harsh, and then it's just like, I don't know how else to explain it, but it's so like powerful to me.
Yes.
It just, so to hear that live, and then to have it go right into
Unerasable Past
yeah, man,
and Death
it's
Atlas.
just, yeah. And with that last bit, and I count the days till we've expired our ways. Then that line with like the slower bit going at the end of it says, to be alive is to survive everything, to make do with anything until we die. To be alive is to squander everything, to stumble towards anything, to feel alive. Like, just
It's insane.
yeah, man. Like,
Insane lyric writing.
I was like just kind of standing there, just in awe of it. I was like, man, this is one of the heaviest things I've ever heard. Like, just to hear, and like, and that's what I mean. Like, that is the whole like power of this fucking album. Like, that's why this is worth talking about and like paying attention to, because it is like straight up, death metal, and it's abrasive and aggressive music, but at the end of it, it's like, there's so much more than that. And to have something like that just hit as hard as it did, and to have just the night go the way that, I don't know, like, it was just, I was like, I'm still trying to kind of recover from it a little bit, because I was like, this is like, what a way to start off the year, man.
Yeah.
Like, I was
Our first show of
excited.
the year.
Yeah, I was excited going into it, and then by the time I left, I was, by the time it was over, I was like, I kind of don't want to leave. Like,
Yeah. This is round 2. Fight.
Yeah. Play another set, man.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was.
Yeah, let me go grab that real quick, because I do want to show that, because I don't know if I ever have.
Yeah,
But,
go ahead.
Yeah, so.
It was unbelievable though, for a first show of the year. And for that show to be over a month into the year in February, and to finally get to see songs live that we have been blasting for 2 years now, over 2 years, and according to Travis Ryan on the Jamie Josta podcast, this is the only time they will tour this album, because they have a new one in the works and a gigantic tour announcement coming for the fall, where they will be in an opening slot. Giant US tour announcement. I don't know who else is going to be on it. I don't know what the tour announcement is, but he talked about it on the Josta show. So we know there's a lot more coming from Cattle Decapitation within the next few months, and to just finally get to see this live was, especially in like such a small venue, was just absolutely fucking it was breathtaking. It was amazing. It was yeah, like Aaron was saying, the whole vibe of the night was just very positive. It was a very positive vibe that night, and everybody was very happy to be there, and just ready to tear shit the fuck up. And yeah, no, it was absolutely one of those shows where you're like, I got to see these guys every time they come through now. What you got?
Definitely. So yeah, this is the solar side of vinyl, I suppose. I think it was called. See if I get some good lighting on it. I got the main shit.
Oh yeah.
Big ass.
Oh shit! Nice.
But that was kind of cool. Obviously all the liner stuff.
Mm-hmm. Where those like the lyrics and the liner notes?
Yeah. And then the real deal. I probably, since I got it, I probably play it like once a week, maybe. Especially, after just in preparation for the show. Like it just, I just wanted to be extra familiar with it. But yeah, check this shit. Okay.
Holy fuck! Oh my god!
Light on it.
That's
So
insane.
It's like a big old ball of fire.
Yeah, it's like somebody's eyeball and they're really high.
Sure.
That is sick though.
Yeah.
That is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, man.
That is
It's a
unbelievable.
double too.
And that is something we've actually, like, when you got that, we actually talked about it. I need to come over and hear that on vinyl with you. Like come over with like 4 joints and just vibe out to that shit.
Yeah, man. And that's what's so cool about the just how it's all segmented out. Because the first, let's see if it says on here. So side A is from
I got it.
yeah.
Wait. There's 4 sides?
Yeah. Well,
how?
Because the last 2 songs are almost like 11, 12 minutes long.
Yeah, so but are there 2 discs?
Yeah. It's double vinyl. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So
holy fuck. That's insane.
It gives such a different, like, kind of a different perspective on just like how it's all put together, like how it all kind of runs, because you got the first great dying, and then it goes into one day closer to the end of the world.
Yeah, it looks like it looks like they like so for I mean, I don't know. I can't remember that track, but it looks like at least for the first 3 sides, it starts every time there's like that weird interlude thing that they do.
Yeah,
or like
exactly.
A transmission sounding kind of a thing,
which I think are some of the best. I'm so glad that they use those live, because they are.
Oh yeah,
they are. If you actually really listen to what they're saying, and like actually like and just how it feels in the overall like scale of the album, like what it's about, that is like one of the most chilling bits of the album.
Absolutely.
Just how it touches on some very real time, like, crisis type stuff of like, the 6th extinction of, that humans are bringing to the earth, and the carbon footprint, and all the, how we're so like careful, and like to trust the validity of, of our own near-term extinction or something like that. And like how, I don't know, it's as depressing as it could be, I suppose, but it's the way that it's done, and like how each of the, they all kind of go from one idea and then play the certain amount of songs, like the 4 songs after, and then they go from the next one, and then how it ends is just like with this overall feeling of just empty, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's if you haven't yet,
God
which is
damn it.
a crime, like
Literally.
seriously, yeah,
Should
check
be
this shit out.
arrested.
Yeah,
Like,
It's- yeah, I feel like it could define extreme music for a long time, and I
It
like
mu-
it only makes me more excited to see what they do next with it, because it's kind of like what we've been talking about with Lorna. Like
Yeah.
they put out this, what is basically like, I mean, this is their fucking kind of like their magnum opus, man. Like,
Yeah.
where do you go from Death Atlas? Like, where do you go from, I don't know. I didn't think they could top Anthropocene, but they did, and it's
Exactly.
so. But yeah,
Exactly.
but yeah, to kind of call back to the show and end on that stuff. Like I'm so glad that we decided to check this out, and especially after being as big of a fan of and fans of this album and of this band as we have been over the last like 2 years, to finally see it all, and
Yeah.
that was kind of one of my favorite parts. So not just because of like what those songs were, like how they hit me or whatever, but how much of like those two, and just how varied their set was, to the point where they played some stuff that I was kind of surprised that they pulled off. Like they really because really like the last two songs that they played, like the bigger ones, are the least sounding stuff that it's the most, I don't know, how did I put it the other night, like it's the most least like them that
Oh, yeah. It's
I don't,
yeah. No, I know what you're saying. Yeah, it's
yeah,
it's like the farthest step they've ever took from their original style, kind of
yeah,
thing. Yeah.
yeah. And to see it come across live, and to see how it all like all the moving parts work together and stuff, and just like from one to the other in a live setting, how much harder some of these songs hit is it's definitely worth the, I don't know. So yeah, it was fucking sick.
Absolutely one of the best shows we've ever seen. Absolutely a situation where, now that we've seen them like this is like a band we can never miss in Michigan again.
Yeah.
Every band that night killed it. The crowd was amazing. The venue was amazing. Our tacos were perfect. Everything about that night was just absolutely incredible, and it was such a perfect and amazing way to start off the 2022 concert year for us. I could not have. I can't even ask for anything better, because it was just so good. Everything about it was so perfect. And yeah, and Cattle just, like, there were definitely moments while I was watching Cattle, during like the last few songs, where I was like looking over. Aaron, I swear to fucking God, honestly, 100%, if they had saved Bring Back the Plague till like the third or second to last song, I would have jumped in that pit. Without, like, I was already like inching closer and like I wanted to get in it so bad. Like, part of me really did. Like, I just didn't jump into it, but like, oh my, if they had saved that for one of the last, I'd been like, all right, I'm excuse me, I'm going in. Like, it would have been over.
Yeah.
But
I'm kind of surprised they didn't. Like that
for
was,
how big of a song it is, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that's like one of the music videos,
Yeah.
and they only did like a few. Usually bands only do a few, so that's one of the music video songs. But
Yeah.
I mean, my God, what an amazing set list! What an amazing performance from everybody. Extinction AD, Creeping Death, Last 10 Seconds of Life, and Cattle Decapitation. Absolutely destroyed. Is there anything else you wanted to say about it?
Nothing specific, other than I really hope that we have a chance to catch some more shows at the shelter, because I really,
Yeah.
as much as I enjoy St. Andrews, and as legendary as it is, and how many shows we've been, I mean, fuck, like I feel like
That place was too.
of the venues that I've seen shows at in Detroit, I feel like St. Andrews is one of those that like it's always something special every time we're there, and like seeing this specifically this in the shelter, and for not only for like the first one of the year, but for the first show ever there, just to kind of see how it is. Like, it kind of it brings you, it's very, I mean, quite literally underground, but it also, it feels like it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it just has that energy of like being this old like thrash, like, punk
Yeah,
rock club. Like, it's,
it feels like a Max, a Sanctuary, a Smalls,
yeah,
even. These are all venues up here in Michigan, but like think of your tiny little local, if you have
yeah,
one, underground venue. It's very much what it felt like, but it's also in the basement of one of the premier venues in the state.
yeah,
So it's kind of,
yeah.
it's wild. It's wild. And I agree. Yeah, absolutely. We got to keep an eye on hopefully they get more shows like this.
I thought the lighting stuff was fucking sweet too.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause it was
That
one of the only
pretty impressive for the
yeah,
size. Yeah.
one of the only times that I've ever, I mean, like, obviously there's like house lights and there's other lights and stuff, but like there's only times where like I was like fully, I mean, you kind of see it in that video kind of, but there's, they had like a couple of different like smoke machines going off and stuff, and like at one point this was like all night throughout everybody's set. There was like, there at one point, like, some of the lights on the stage would go off, and then there was some like in the actual pit that would light up or whatever, and so it would go back and forth from there. Like, it was actually about as much of the, as much a part of the show as, the band that was on stage was. It was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was,
Absolutely.
you could, and with that, like, it made it a bit more exciting to watch what was going on in the pit, because there was a couple of times where I was just kind of focused in on that. I just wanted to see, I mean, that's I try to take time, at every show to watch that, just because there's a certain need to just kind of like, sometimes, like just from the outside, you're just like, man, like, I just like, it's like it's that need to kind of see something like chaotic. It's
yes.
Like,
Absolutely.
Yes. Just that.
I want to see the chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Show me the violence for a minute. Like,
yeah.
let me see somebody just, yeah. I think one of the best there were two different call outs. This is the last thing I'll say, because it's one of the things that just made me laugh the hardest when I was like, at that, like, there was two moments where I was like, I was like, this is sick. Like, there was a moment where the dude from Last 10 Seconds was telling people to, like, he's like, put somebody to sleep to this song or whatever. Like, I was like, all right, that's a new one.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Anytime there's like, punch the person next to you. Like, anytime, those call outs, whatever.
Shit, they even did like a wall of death.
Yeah. Which in that place was like
nuts.
That was crazy. Yeah. But then there was I don't know if you remember this, but somebody, after it was in between songs that Creeping Death was on, somebody yelled, I think they were like, this band hits louder than my dad, or something.
Yeah,
like
that. yeah.
And I don't remember what he said on stage. It was hilarious though. He was like, I don't know if I met your dad or whatever. Like, he's a great dude or something like that.
Sounds like, pretty scary though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was great.
I just, it was a good night. It was a good time. I needed that. I needed to get back to the show.
Me fucking too. Absolutely. It was everything we could have asked for a show in general, let alone a first show of the year. And
it started off that way.
That shook off the barnacles like no other. Like, it's insane. It's insane. And now, so by the time this episode of Lost in the Dark comes out, Extinction AD, Creeping Death, Last 10 Seconds, and Cattle will still have some tour dates left. Not many. So if you're hearing this, and I'm not exactly sure when this is going to come out, but if you're hearing this and you are in Florida, they're going to be in Tampa, Florida on February 12th. This might come out like a day or two after that, but from the 14th to the 18th, They will be in Houston, Texas, Dallas, Texas, Austin, Texas, and El Paso, Texas. So they got a Texas run there in mid-February. Then February 19th, Albuquerque, New Mexico, and they close it all out on February 20th in Mesa, Arizona. And this will be out by the time those are or before those are happening. So if you are in any of those places and you have a chance to go see this show, fucking do yourself a favor, because it's absolutely unbelievable. One of the best shows I've seen in a long time. And
just a side note, since we're looking at Creeping Death, there's some home state shows,
Texas, yeah. So they're gonna have a great time there. Yeah, those are gonna be nuts. Yeah, those are gonna be insane.
I wonder if there's something to that sound, like obviously, because Pantera and stuff. Like I wonder if shows in Texas and stuff are a little more rowdy.
Wow.
That. Like I wonder if they're
we know a Texas band, Scream at the Sky.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Scream at the
My
Sky.
apologies. Yeah.
So we can ask them when they come up here. I think they just announced a tour that has a Michigan date, but I'm not 100% sure about it. So I'm not 100% sure, like, because their name isn't on the flyer, and I don't get why. So but they posted about it and said we'll see it. So hopefully we get to see. Definitely always hope to get to see them this year. And we can totally ask them. Like, that's actually a really good question. That's a good fucking question for the bands that we have back on now. It's like, now that you've played Michigan, how does the Michigan crowd compare to the other crowd? You know what I mean? Like, because I've seen one show out of state. Yeah, I've seen one show out of state, and that's it. And I was up in the rafters. It was Iron Maiden. So that's not a real, you know what I mean? You got to do like something like a show where you're on the floor in a small venue to really know how the crowds are. So in that area. But yeah, I guess
we'll hang on to that one.
That'll be an interesting. I should ask Brian about that.
Because you got, like, it's not Texas, but obviously Florida.
Oh, I know.
Like the mecca for death metal for most.
I've like, every time anybody has ever asked like a big metal musician, like, what's the craziest state to play in, I've never heard anyone say Michigan, which disappoints me. Very disappointing. Michigan, get your shit together. It's fucking embarrassing.
It is, man. Let's be honest.
A fucking trash can to fucking kick. God damn it. It's fucking embarrassing. We gotta go harder, people. God damn it.
Terrible.
But so
I
guess
know, like I always hear it, because that's one of the things that Tyler from Traders is like.
I hear
deep
like
South shit, that deep South hate. Like
I do like, a lot of them have said like Arizona, oddly enough, like Phoenix.
Yeah.
I guess they go wild as fuck in Phoenix. So yeah, I don't know though. That's just one I've heard a couple times at least.
I believe it.
But so that's I guess that's gonna do it for our recap of the Death at Last tour featuring Enterprise AD.
Enterprise AD.
Or wait, did I fuck that up?
Extinction AD.
Extinction AD. I was thinking of Enterprise Earth, yeah. Because that album cover is so dope. Extinction AD, Creeping Death, Last 10 Seconds of Life, and of course the gods themselves, Cattle Decapitation, touring Death Atlas in the United States. That is our it's one of the greatest covers ever made. That shit is on my ceiling. Like, I wake up to that every day. Like, absolutely amazing. I cannot recommend it enough. I read you all earlier the remaining dates that tour has. So if you're down there in the deep South, my dad's from the deep South. Go check them out. Definitely go check out this tour if it's coming anywhere near you before the end. But don't
if you know, sorry, if you know what that's from, fucking
comment
do the real
below.
MVPs. Yeah.
Let me know that you know
Let
that
us
reference.
know. Because I rarely, if ever, do I meet anybody that knows what movie that even is. Because it's such a like a weird. It's
one of my favorites.
In general, yeah,
absolutely one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Bite his freaking head off, Ozzy.
Yeah.
Fucking Ozzy's in it, bro. Like, come
Yeah.
on, like.
Eat your heart. Anyway, sorry.
But yeah, definitely check them out if they're coming anywhere near you. It's an amazing tour. And yeah, and I guess for everyone watching this right now, if you are still watching, the next show that hopefully Aaron and I definitely hopefully Aaron and I, you need to take this day off work, motherfucker, will be attending is in Jackson, Michigan at the Music Box on Saturday, February 19th, I believe. Cover charge is only $10. We got the motherfucking Furnace Winds, Fell Ruin, Sedentary, motherfucking Recorruptor, Dagon, and motherfucking Throne to headline the night again at the Music Box in Jackson, Michigan on Saturday, February 19th. Tickets are only $10. Doors are at 6. That is the next show Lost in the Dark will be attending. So if you wanna, if you're gonna be there, if you want to go to a show that we'll be at, fucking go. We got that one this month, and then we got Cannibal Corpse on February 28th at the Majestic Theater in Detroit, Michigan. So those are our next two for this month alone. If anyone seeing this right now is going to be at either of those two shows, I don't care if you like or comment or any of that. Just if you want, just fucking hit us up on Facebook Messenger, Instagram Messenger, direct message us. Like, I don't care about the fucking comments, likes, and all that bullshit. Like, just like hit us up directly. I'd be happy to hear from you.
And I would love for us to have some kind of like meetup.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah, that'd be with our fan. Like, that would be anybody that watches this. That would be amazing. Like, find us at the show. We've said this before. If you find us, you walk up to us and go, "Hey, I like Lost in the Dark." If you just mention Lost in the Dark in any, just walk up and say, you don't even have to say, "Hey," just walk up and go, "Lost in the Dark." Like, that's all you got to do. And we will, we will give you a sticker. If we don't have any stickers, we'll buy you a fucking drink. All right. Dead serious. We want,
that can get expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why on the last episode, I was like, I speak for myself, not necessarily for Aaron. And then you went, "Oh no, I'm down." So,
I am, but
fine, but it's never happened yet. It's never happened.
No.
So
take us up on it. Yeah.
Take us up on it. If you find us, if you go to a show with us, we would love to meet anybody that watches our shit. Obviously we've met a few, like, the bands, I know Aaron from Victims of the System was watching this right now. Shout out, Aaron. We love you, bud. But anybody else, especially people in the area that go to any of the shows we go to, we would love to meet with you in person, and that would just be a great time. So the next ones are Throne, Dagon, and Recorruptor on the 19th, and we got Cannibal, Whitechapel, and Shadow of Intent on February 28th. One of Throne and Recorruptor are in Jackson, Cannibals in Detroit. Any of those shows that, and we will try to keep everybody posted on social media to the shows that we're going to go to. So everybody, please, if you're seeing this right now and you're going to any of those shows, let us know. We would love to hear from you in any way, shape, or form. So, but I think, are we good for this one?
Yeah, man. I got nothing else.
All right.
Go see Cattle Decapitation.
Go
man.
see him. Go see him.
It's
Go
fucking
listen to
sick.
Death Atlas and buckle up because they got a
Yeah.
giant tour announcement for the fall. Nobody knows what it is yet. All we know is a giant tour announcement for the fall. And they are either going to release a new album this year or be recording a new album over the summer. I can't remember which one. Go watch the Travis Ryan episode with Jamie Josta on the Josta show. That's where I'm getting this from. So we will have new cattle. God, why do I keep doing that? We will have new cattle very soon. New tour announcements within the next few months. So if you don't catch them on this cycle, hopefully you can catch them on the next. And yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode. This will be 226 from Lost in the Dark podcast. We hope to see y'all at some of the shows we're gonna go to, and we hope you enjoyed the episode. And oh yeah, and if you were at the cattle show and you're seeing this, let us know, please.
Yeah.
Please let us know. I'm dead serious. Like that would be huge. Because
Never thought about it.
we've had weird things in the past where that's happened. So, please, if you were at the cattle show, we would love to hear your thoughts on it as well. So please reach out. We'd love to hear from anyone and everyone. We never get hit up by anyone. So if you're sitting there going like, "Oh, I'm sure they get hit up by people all the time. They won't notice me." No, you're the one we're looking for. You're the one we're looking for. So we would love to hear from you. And that's going to do it for this episode of Lost in the Dark podcast. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll back again very soon. Love y'all to death. Thank you. Good night. What a fucking amazing way to start off the 2022 concert year. Like everything was perfect that night. The show was just absolutely amazing. I cannot speak highly of it enough. I listed off the dates that it's still going by the time this episode comes out. So hopefully anyone in those areas gets to go see it. It's so worth, like your mind will be blown. Like the performances, like everything was just on point. 10 out of 10 that night, and I cannot recommend this tour enough. So everybody be sure to check out the Death at Last tour, especially if it's coming anywhere near you, because it's not one you want to miss. Trust me on this one. This shit is the Mad Notes. Like, trust me on this one. It's fucking nuts. But that's gonna do it for episode 226 of Lost in the Dark podcast. I can't thank you all enough for watching. If you're seeing this right now, you're my fucking hero. Let me know. Reach out. Like we said in the episode, I don't care about comments. I don't care about any of that shit. Just fucking reach out personally. Like, we'd love to hear from any of you that are still watching this right now. It would mean the world to us. And if any of you are going to be at any of the upcoming shows we talked about, we'd love to see you there. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much, everyone that has ever supported this show and or been on it or whatever that is seeing this right now. So thank you all so much. You all mean the world to me. And that's going to do it for this episode of Lost in the Dark podcast. As always, we got so much more coming very, very soon. But until next time, raise your fucking horns and bang your goddamn heads. We love you all to death. Good night.
Lost in the dark.